All right, guys, so today's lesson is going to start combining everything that we've done so far in order to solve more difficult logarithm problems. So we're going to be using the properties of logs to combine them, and then the evaluating that we were doing before the break in order to solve them. Just a heads up, we're going to start having quizzes and tests soon, starting maybe next week or the week after. So make sure that you're getting this stuff and asking any questions if you're not understanding. So whenever you're solving logarithm problems, you can't solve a problem if it has multiple logs in it. So what you have to do is you have to condense it down to a single logarithm first, and then you can solve it. So here I have two logarithms, and I need to get it down to just one log. So first, make sure that there is no numbers in front. Remember, if there's a number in front, you got to take it and move it back to be the exponent, but that's not the case here. So we can just jump right into combining these logs into a single one. And so this would be log 4, and then because it's subtraction right here, because of the minus, that means we need to do what? We need to divide. So you're going to take the 32 and the 2 and divide those. As always, simplify the fractions if possible. So this would be log 4, and 32 over 2 is just 16. And then that should look familiar because we've done those before the break, and even after the break we've done a couple of those. So write in the y equals, because that's what's missing. Then write the conversion, y equals log bx. And then that's going to convert to be x equals b to the y. So when you convert it, it's going to look like 16 is equal to 4 to the y power. So let me bring this back up over here. So 16 equals 4 to the y. So the 16, you're going to change it so that it matches the 4. So 16 is 4 squared. You can leave the 4 to the y. That way these will cancel, and so your answer is just 2. So as you can see, we did the properties of logs to condense those into a single logarithm, and then we did the evaluating to solve that log that we had left. So that was an easy one. Let me show you another example of one that's also easy. So again, two logarithms, can't solve it unless it's condensed down to a single logarithm. So first check to see, is there a number in front? No. All right, so then now we can just jump into combining the logarithms into one. So this one is addition. So how do we combine two logarithms when they're being added? You multiply them. So Alexa, what's 62.5 times 2?
62.5 times 2 is 125.
All right, so 125 when you multiply. Now let me just write it out. So 62.5 times 2. And Alexa says that multiply those together and you get 125. So I'm going to take her word for it. Now it's down to a single logarithm. Then what's missing? It's missing the y. Write the conversion. Hopefully you're good at converting these by now, since we've done like a million of these. So y equals log bx converts to be x equals b to the y. So then it looks like 125 is equal to 5 to the y. Then I'll bring this back up here so I have more space. So 125 is equal to 5 to y. Then, like before, change the 125 so that it matches the 5. So 125 is 5 to the third power. And then cancel out the 5s. And so the answer is 3. All right, so that's another example of an easy one where you just use one property. Now we're going to jump into ones that use multiple properties in order to solve them. So again, make sure, check to see if there's a number in front, but I'll see this one does have a number in front. So then you got to take the number and move it to be the exponent. So we're going to take this 2 and move it so that it's the exponent for 8. So then before we combine them into a single log, we're going to move that number. So that would be log 4 of 8 squared. Now obviously don't leave the 8 squared there, change that to be a 64. And then, so now that we took care of the number that was in front, now we can combine them into a single logarithm. Again, with the end goal being that we solve it all the way. So log 4, this is subtraction. So what do we do to combine two logs that are being subtracted? We divide. So it would be 1 over 64. And it does have to be in that order, by the way, just a reminder. So like before, writing the y equals log bx converts to be x equals b to the y. So let's see, that would be 1 over 64 is equal to 4 to the y. By now you can probably get away with not having to write down the conversion, but I just have the habit of writing it. That way it's really clear, really easy to see which one's which. So let me rewrite it over here so I have more room. All right, so got to change the 1 over 64 to match the 4. So always pretend like the 1's not there. Just pretend like it's just a 64. 64 would be 4 to the 3rd power. And then, but what do I need to do when it's a fraction though? Right, you have to make the 3 into a negative 3. So then, remember fractions means negative exponents, so cancel out the 4's. So answer is negative 3. All right, so that's an example of one that combines multiple properties. So now let's just really do the most difficult out of all of these, where a majority of the properties are used. So first thing I see when I look at this, I see that there's a 2 in front of this logarithm. I know for sure that I need to move that to be the exponent for the 5. I also see that I have parentheses there, so that means that these two logarithms need to be combined before I combine it with that third logarithm. So let's just take care of both at the same time. So log 80 minus log 2, how do you combine when it's subtraction? Divide. So then it would be 80 divided by 2. And then keep that plus still. And then it's going to be log 5 squared. So then now we've got two logarithms combined into one. So out of the 3 that we started, there's 2 left. Now let's simplify this a little bit. So 80 divided by 2 is 40. And 5 squared is 25. All right, so now that I've gotten rid of the parentheses, now that I've gotten rid of the number in front, now I can combine them into a single log. So it's addition, so I'm going to multiply. So log and then 40 times 25. Alexa, what's 40 times 25? She's not listening to me. She must be mad at me. Alexa, Alexa? What a jerk. I think it's 1,000. Let's just say it's 1,000. All right, so now we're going to solve this. So we need to write in what's missing. So like before, there's a y missing, and then there's something else missing. That's right, there's no base here. So looking at this, we need to write in the base. What do you write whenever it doesn't have a base? A 10. It's called the common log. So then back to the same thing, y equals log bx. Then we're going to write over here in the form exponential form, x equals b to the y. So I believe that's 1,000 equals 10 to the y. Change the 1,000 to match the 10, so 10 to the 3rd would be 1,000. And then cancel out the 10s. And so it looks like 3 is your answer. Did I make 3 the answer for all of these on accident? So this one's 3, last one's negative 3, 3, that first one was 2. I did not do that on purpose. All right, so that's the most difficult out of all of these, condensing and evaluating logs. So here's your homework. Don't forget, if you're having issues, please let me know as soon as possible, whether it's technology based or just getting the math, because we're going to start having quizzes and tests soon. Don't forget to do the homework. You guys are getting good at that. So yeah, let me know if you need anything.